Welcome to Civ VII Stories, where we explore alternatives to history through the lens of the world's most addictive video game. Games are played on deity, no challenges. Generally, I don't use mods or game modes, and for games of Civ VII, I specifically turn the crisis mode off since it's stupid. A great game is epic and tells a story. It has a history, all condensed down into 20 minutes. Along the way, you can learn tips and tricks on how to be a better Civ player, as well as strategies on how to play specific civilizations. Today, we will look at the game that I played as Hatshepsut of the... Well, to start, the Egyptians, and then, well, I guess we'll find out. As my mementos for this game, I chose Groma for an extra expansionist attribute point and Inscribed Sling Bullet for an extra military attribute point. We founded our capital city Waset between two gorgeous-looking navigable rivers. I'm really still learning the game, so even these little decisions like how does the tech tree work take a little while. As our Antiquity Age government, we chose Classical Republic. In 3800 BC, we met Harriet Tubman of the Axumite. In 3675 BC, we met Friedrich of Rome. In 3600 BC, we met Xerxes of Persia. In 3575 BC, for our pantheon, we chose stone circles. In 3350 BC, we founded our second settlement, Men Nefer, at the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro. In 3325 BC, our forces dispersed the independent power of Samarkand, completing our Shining Land, earning us a militaristic attribute point. In 3275 BC, we founded our third settlement, Akhetaten. In 3100 BC, we met Napoleon of the Han. In 3075 BC, for befriending the independent power of Kerma, we chose the Gemstones reward and added Lapis Lazuli to our list of available resources. It drove us forward to achieving our first milestone along the various legacy paths by providing so many resources to our capital. In 3050 BC, Xerxes declared a surprise war against us. By 2950 BC, we had fought off Persian forces from around our capital. Xerxes would pay for his treachery. In 2775 BC, we built the pyramids in our capital city of Waset. In 2600 BC, we built the Gate of All Nations, also in Waset. Also that year, for befriending the independent power of Dharmatakit, we chose the Arch Suzerain bonus. In 2350 BC, we founded our fourth settlement, Nekhen. In 2225 BC, for befriending the independent power of we chose the Garden of Wonders suzerain bonus. This is the moment when you realize that when you build a great person, you really just built a slightly stronger melee unit. I guess the word great is relative. In 1900 BC, we upgraded the town of Men Nefer to a city. By 1860 BC, we decided that Friedrich of Rome had been settling too close to our cities, and we declared war. Napoleon immediately declared war on us in response to our aggression. Our first objective was to siege the town of Neapolis, which we captured in 1820 BC. In 1740 BC, Xerxes approached us about ending the war and offered us the town of Tarsus, the largest settlement in his empire. Despite its remote location, we can't say no to that. Our next objective was to assault the town of Ravenna, which we captured in 1660 BC. By 1440 BC, although our troops were advancing upon the Roman capital, we were in danger of losing the settlements we had taken. When Friedrich approached us with a peace deal that included the town of Gades, we accepted it. Doing so helped us complete our Antiquity Age military legacy path. By 1260 BC, Egypt was looking to make another advance on the Roman capital. We were still at war with Napoleon and didn't need to be, so we reached out and proposed peace. By 1220 BC, we had cut off all of the roads leading out of Rome. It was time for war. Then, in 1060 BC, with 99% of the age done, I built a Tejati named Nebet who could instantly start a celebration that would last maybe 2 turns. Yay! Perfect timing. Then Napoleon declared war on me again. In 1020 BC, the Antiquity Age came to an end. Overall, we did a decent job of moving our legacy paths along, especially militarily. For the Exploration Age, we chose to be Mongolia. We had played as Mongolia before, and they felt like a safe bet, which is what I see as one of the failings of Civ VII, but that's a whole other matter. First point of order in the Exploration Age was to restore Men Nefer's status as a city. In 410 AD, we chose feudal monarchy as our Exploration Age government. Although almost 1500 years had gone by, we hadn't forgotten about how we had failed to capture Rome. New age, new energy. Also, if we hope to head further eastward into the ocean and toward distant lands, we would have to go through Old Rome. Time to get this party started. That party begins with denouncing Friedrich, now ruler of Spain. In 430 AD, we declared war. Napoleon declared war on us as soon as he got the news. In 510 AD, Egyptian Mongols founded the city of Ulrag. Though our primary target was Rome, Ostia by the Sea was a much easier target. We captured the town in 550 AD. In 570 AD, we founded our religion, choosing lay followers as our reliquary belief, and Holy Ecumeny as our founder belief. In 600 AD, as a reward for befriending the independent power of Ayutthaya, we chose the Reichskreise suzerain bonus. In 650 AD, after rejecting Friedrich's appeals to end the war, Xerxes declared war on us. In 700 AD, we met a civilization from the distant lands, Isabella of the Inca. Capturing Ostia turned the tide in the war against Friedrich. Now able to bombard districts from across the river, our army was able to capture and grab a foothold on the city. The fighting was intense and lasted over 300 years. When it was done, barely a blade of grass could grow, so much of the city had been laid to waste. But in 760 AD, Rome was sacked by the Mongols and became a part of our expanding empire that now had access to the Great Eastern Ocean. For befriending the independent power of Xerxes in 820 AD, we chose the Corsair suzerain bonus. 10 years later, in an effort to expand the depth of our religion, we chose zeal as our enhancer belief. Also that year, with our army continuing its advance on Friedrich and the Spanish, our troops captured the Spanish capital city of Madrid. Friedrich moved his capital to the coastal town of Bertigala, which fell 10 years later. His empire was crumbling and his influence was now completely removed from the homelands. Rather than stay at war and hunt him down in every corner of the high seas, we made peace. Now that our war with Friedrich was over, his buddy Napoleon reached out to us in 860 AD to make peace as well. In the peace settlement, he offered the town of Falaise, so we agreed. Also that year, with the populace of Rome finally assuaged and understanding their new reality as part of the Mongol Empire, we upgraded the settlement to a city. In 890 AD, off the west coast of our homelands, we met Benjamin Franklin of the Majapahi. 30 years later, we met Pachacuti of Hawaii. By 950 AD, Friedrich, no longer satisfied with our peace deal, declared war on us again. 20 years later, and Napoleon joined the war against us. Mongol and Xerxes forces met in the forest south of Haran. Our forces broke through Xerxes' line of defense, laid siege to the town, and captured it in 1040 AD. At the end of that year, with no real reason to remain at war with Friedrich, when he offered us peace, we accepted it. Soon after, in 1070 AD, Napoleon came to us looking to end the war and offered us the city of Linshiang in the process, so we accepted. In 1105 AD, our forces broke through and captured the town of Raga. In 1120 AD, our fleet captured the undefended treasure island town of Gobir. Also that year, we upgraded Linshiang into a city. In 1140 AD, Xerxes came to us to end the war and offered up his former capital city of Parsa in the deal. Can't say no to that. Now that we had built a small fleet hailing from the city of Linshiang, we were now ready to add some of Napoleon's towns and cities to our empire. We could use the nearby navigable river to both lay siege to nearby enemy towns as well as protect our own. In 1160 AD, we declared war. Possibly upset at so easily ceding Parsa to us, in 1195 AD, at the first available opportunity, Xerxes decided to support Napoleon and declared war on us. In 1205, our forces laying siege to Guangling captured all of the defensible districts and took control of the city. 5 years later, now forced to defend our new provinces on two fronts, we decided to make peace with Napoleon, who graciously included the city of Luoyang in his peace deal. Abbasid forces rushed to reclaim Parsa, but, with our reinforcements now returning from the east, we had more than enough troops to fight them off. We prepared our counteroffensive. With 95% of the age completed, we believed we had enough time to maybe snag one more city from Xerxes. And then the age just ended kinda suddenly. By every measure, save for dominating our enemies, we had failed. For the modern age, we decided to lead Siam. We decided to move our capital to the former Persian capital city of Parsa. One of our first points of order in the new age was to upgrade Linshiang to a city. We did the same for Roma. It always feels weird having to repeat those steps. Ditto for Mennefer. For our modern era government, we chose elective republic. Though over 500 years had elapsed without a whisper to history, we recalled our exploration era objectives and began by advancing our troops to the border between our new capital and Xerxes' Mughal Empire by the city of Hagmatana. In 1760, we declared war. 2 years later, we captured the town. 2 years later, in retaliation for my war on the Mughal, Napoleon, now leading the Qing, declared war on us. We barely remembered that Friedrich was still involved in this game, but in 1766, he also declared war on us. In 1772, we used our Itsarafab ability to instantly become suzerain of Muebele and chose their Antiquarium suzerain bonus. Though it required absurd amounts of manpower, our forces were finally able to cross the river and capture the town of Tarsus. Xerxes' reserve of troops seemed endless, and to continue with war would have only brought more harm than good. We had taken another large slice out of Xerxes' empire and reasserted our dominance in this new age. Xerxes included the city of Bactria in his peace deal, and we accepted. Oh, Friedrich is still in this game. You want peace? And you'll give me your only satellite town of which I have no idea where it is even located? Okay, no. In 1786, our Eastern Fleet dug in and completely without land support captured the Qing town of Lalibela. In 1790, once again, we used our Itsarafab ability to become suzerain of Bogota. We chose anthropology as our suzerain bonus. The next year, after a long siege, our forces captured the city of Jinyang. Satisfied with the gains we had made, we reached out to Napoleon to end the war. In the peace deal, he included the city of Chang'an, a large settlement with wonders and good infrastructure that we immediately upgraded to a city. That same year, we used our Itsarafab ability to become suzerain of Kandy and chose scholarly network as our suzerain bonus. In 1807, we built Oxford University in our capital city of Krungthep. We had been friends with Harriet Tubman since ancient times. When Friedrich declared war on her, we decided to support her in her war effort. Perhaps it was time to finish Friedrich off once and for all. Moments later, our support for Harriet Tubman entered us back into a war with Xerxes. We had just finished up our war against Napoleon, so on that matter, for now, we would stay neutral. Although we had decided to remain neutral with Napoleon, Napoleon decided not to remain neutral with us and declared war on us at his first opportunity. Xerxes' empire was crumbling. Most of it belonged to us, but even Isabella had begun to snatch towns away from him by capturing Kusa. But it was us that took the real prize, when in 1819, after a major military offensive, our forces captured the city of Baghdad. That same year, we captured the island settlement of Damascus. We were most concerned with hitting Xerxes where it hurt. We had barely thought of Napoleon trying to take back his cities. When he came to us with a peace plan that involved him surrendering the city of Rouen, we accepted it. We also accepted a peace deal with Friedrich. And since Xerxes was willing to give the town of Sparta, we accepted that deal as well. Peace at last. Almost immediately, we upgraded Sparta to a city. In 1832, we built Doi-Suthep in our capital city of Krungthep. In 1834, when the dust had settled over Baghdad, we upgraded the conquered settlement to a city. We were also ready to take Xerxes out for good. That year, we declared war. Friedrich, militant bastard that he is, in support of Xerxes, declared war on us soon after. In 1836, our fleet captured Berlin. Feeling ready to conquer more of Napoleon's lands, and especially keen on adding Beijing to our expanding empire, we declared war again in 1839. In 1841, our main army captured Delhi, putting Xerxes and his crumbling empire out of its misery for good. In 1843, after a short siege, our Eastern Army captured Napoleon's capital city of Beijing. Doing so completed our quest along the military legacy path. There's no longer any conceivable reason to continue the war because once you complete a legacy path, well, that's it. But we continued the war anyway. Don't tell me what to do, game! In 1847, in order to house more factory resources and leave open the option to win a railroad tycoon victory, we upgraded Rouen from a town to a city. The next year, our forces stormed into Chengdu and captured the city. By 1850, we felt we didn't need to hunt down Napoleon into every corner of the planet. He offered us the town of Falaise that we had completely neglected for who knows how long and had surrendered to him at some point, who knows when. Because that's the thing in Civ 7, you just end up bartering and surrendering towns that barely matter. Anyway, long story short, we accepted. In 1851, after all of the unrest in Delhi died down, we converted it to a city. In 1852, in the city of Medina Fair, we completed our Manhattan project. In 1853, again to house more factory resources, we upgraded Beijing to a city and immediately provided it with a factory. Friedrich and his last stronghold, Toledo, just did not want to die. Looking at the leaderboard, and we were way out in front, except for Elizabeth, who was challenging us along the railroad tycoon legacy. In 1859, in the city of Chang'an, we built Mubizu Azayala Mpanga. Hope I said that right. That year, we also finally captured Toledo, putting poor Friedrich out of his misery forever. By 1864, we completed the railroad tycoon legacy path, and a great banker showed up in our capital. I really wanted to win a science victory, though. We were only 74% of the way through the modern era, so we still had time. I was now in the lead along every single legacy path. In 1869, after investing for major repairs in all of Toledo, we upgraded the captured settlement to a city. In 1872, in the city of Medina Fair, we built the Taj Mahal. At this point, it wasn't going to do anything to help us win, but why not? By 1873, our great banker had established a World Bank office in every capital city except Lahaina. Again, I was hoping to win a science victory, so for now, he just sat there, waiting. Just in case. We were running out of time and started furiously placing launch pads everywhere we could. Then we discovered a future tech, and the age progress rose quite rapidly from 92% to 98%. What the hell? The next turn, progress rose to 99%, and we still hadn't launched our satellite, which would take another 10 turns. Not wanting to let victory slip away, we established a World Bank office in Lahaina and won the game. So, what did I learn? I played this game before the release of the 1.2.0 patch. I have played a game since the patch's release and must concede that the game has become far more challenging. However, as you can see, this game proved to be way too easy. Like in my game where I played as Xerxes, because I suffer from warmongering tendencies and enjoy the combat aspect of Civilization games, I once again settled for a railroad tycoon victory. I have yet to win a science victory, which, having played a few games in their entirety, I can safely say is the most difficult victory to achieve. As much as I would like to say that I admire anyone who has won a science victory, I am also of the mind that attempting to achieve a science victory, if victory is your sole objective, is kind of pointless. A science victory has by far the most barriers to progress. You must get through the entire tech tree just to unlock your space projects. No other victory condition requires you to do this. You also have to build as many as 4 projects: the transoceanic flight, breaking the sound barrier, launching a satellite, and then having a staffed space flight. Balanced against all of the other victory conditions, this is way too heavy. For a military victory, you need only build 2 projects, the Manhattan Project and Operation Ivy, which have no tech requirements. You need only conquer cities of rival ideologies, and all of that opens along the civic tree. The cultural victory requires only building a single project, the World's Fair. Again, no tech requirement. Sure, you must collect and display 15 artifacts and research as far as the hegemony civic, but it's not exactly difficult. And for a railroad tycoon, you don't need to build any projects. Yeah, you need to build or buy railroads and factories, but again, not difficult. All in all, this kind of makes the science victory an indulgence. A good game of Civ makes all victory paths viable depending on how you play. Science in Civ 7 is just objectively longer. Not more difficult, but longer. As I mentioned in my game with Xerxes, the economic victory is really a domination victory. The more cities you have, the more factories you can have, the more factory resources you can display, the faster you accumulate railroad tycoon points. As for playing as Hatshepsut, I mean, she's fine. Egypt was fine, I guess. But then they're gone after the Antiquity Age, so your Egypt games are guaranteed to be kind of short. Part of life in Antiquity. Once again, I unlocked Mongolia, which is ridiculously easy to do. All you need to do is build 3 siege units, and so I chose them again, and they are tough as nails. However, I didn't do nearly as well with them as I did with Xerxes, so they and Hatshepsut are less of an ideal pairing, I guess. I thought Siam was pretty cool. Their Changbun is a great unit because it can attack and then move, which is crazy handy. Their unique infrastructure, the Bang, I mean, whatever. It provides culture and happiness, but there are lots of ways to get those, and I think I'd rather have the yields from a proper quarter. Dunno, hard to judge. I really like their Istarafab ability that allows you to use influence to immediately become suzerain of an independent power. Independent power suzerain bonuses are great and often stack if you are the suzerain of many independent powers. Cutting down on the 15 or sometimes 30 turn wait time is huge. If you can carry a good amount of influence into the final era, but I mean, who knows how much they will rob you at the age change, but you can become suzerain of all the independent powers and stack some ridiculous bonuses that can help you with any playstyle. Very, very strong, unique ability. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and remember to keep playing and making your own civilization stories, your own amazing path through history, and I'll see you next time.